Koos Bekker is a name that we all know fairly well, certainly those in the media industry, one of the top 40 companies in nice to have. And we have another Koos Bekker with us in the studio. He, however, is the Chief Financial Officer, not CEO, as I said earlier, of the South Ocean. Koos, good to have you in the program. Any relationship?
Yes, my cousin. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Alex.
Okay, and do you swap notes about business?
No, I have hardly seen.
Well, both involved in listed companies now. I suppose Koos is, the other Koos is in a very different situation, very different business. Your company, they're perhaps in a better place right now, focusing on power cables, lighting and so on.
Yeah, we are in the right space in the market at the moment. Also depends on the economy going forward. At the moment, it was very good for us. But going forward, we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Would you say you're an infrastructure player?
Yes, we're definitely an infrastructure player, yes.
Where do you sell most of your products?
Well, we sell most of our products to wholesalers and distributors, so we don't sell to the end user. So we sell to wholesalers. Yeah.
So if the infrastructure momentum continues, you should be a beneficiary?
Yes, we will definitely benefit from that. But also in the building industry, if that continues, and we'll also get benefits from that, yes.
Is it primarily commercial or residential?
It's both ways, so commercial and residential, yes.
Now, the interesting thing was, if you look back on it, it's absolutely brilliant timing of your listing. February last year, you raised 133 million rand. It would probably be impossible to come to the stock market today, given other conditions.
Yes, no, our timing was very good. At the moment, the company is grown quite a lot also since we've listed here.
Have you been able to use your shares or the cash?
We've utilized the cash because we bought Radiant in August of this year, and that also has added significantly our results.
So we'll talk to Radiant in just a moment, but getting back to the timing of the listing, at 7 Rand a share, your stock is now currently at quite a big discount to that. Your price-earnings ratio only around 7. In fact, it's even better than that if you look at it now. How does it feel being a newly listed company?
Well, we're very disappointed about the stock price. For us, it's very, very negative. I think our stock was very priced at the date of listing, but due to the market conditions, our price didn't perform as it should be.
So it's not anything that's been delivered by you. You've got financial results out this morning, and it shows that net asset value is 408 Rand a share, diluted earnings 97 cents. If you're around 5 Rand, it actually puts you on an even more attractive, around about 5 times price.
We got 6 times price, just under 6.
And dividends of 26 cents. I suppose that's also partly to blame for the market. Although the divvy's up, it's very well covered.
Yeah, I do it about 4 times covered. In total, our total dividend is about 26 cents. We just declared a final dividend of 20 cents of that year.
But why are you covering it so heavily?
Because we need the money for expansion in future. We need to invest more in our stock. At the moment, we want to increase our stock levels. And also maybe possible acquisitions if we came across any of those going into the future.
When you say stock, that's to do with the copper?
Our copper stock, yeah.
How are you exposed to the copper price?
We're heavily exposed to copper price. Last year the copper price went up 19%. This year already, the first 2 months, 21%. March, we're looking at between 15 and 20% up already for March. We also had a problem last month with supply from our Phalaborwa mines. They were down for about nearly 2 weeks. So we've run all our existing stocks down to the bare minimum. And what we plan is to increase our stock levels so we don't get in the same situation the rest of the year.
Does that mean that if your stocks are down to the bare minimum, you are threatening your production?
Luckily, we didn't stop production. We just had enough stock. But we're trying to build up now stock reserves again. And that's very difficult because everybody wants now copper. And Phalaborwa is a bit below or behind with their deliveries.
Chris, what's going on with the theft of copper wire? Where does that copper end up?
No, I don't know where it ends up. But I believe there's a lot of copper theft. If we sell copper as scrap, we get 91% of what we're paying for it. So it's quite a good business, copper theft.
Just explain that. If we sell it as scrap,
we get 91% of the price we're paying to Phalaborwa, yeah.
For fresh, in other words.
For fresh, yeah.
So people stealing copper wire would presumably be watching the copper price on a day-by-day basis, and then decide on how they price the goods that they're stealing.
No, it is a problem, copper theft, yeah.
But isn't there some kind of a supply chain that one can have a look at? Somewhere along the line, the copper has been stolen from Eskom and Telkom has to go somewhere.
I know the Copper Development Agency is looking at that to see what's happening with that. They are investigating the copper theft, but that is a major problem countrywide.
Why is there such a small margin between new copper and scrap copper?
That I can't answer, I don't know.
Is it just easy to pick up the scrap and you reuse it, I guess?
Yeah, because copper is very valuable and everybody wants copper. So to sell it as scrap, there's a good market for scrap and for copper, yeah.
And with the rand going the way that it has this morning and on Friday, how's that going to affect your business?
Also affect our price. The copper price is determined by the LME price and the rand-dollar exchange. So that will increase definitely the copper price going forward.
But how does that affect your business?
What happens in our business, we haven't got any forward contracts or any long-term contracts. We don't have any tenders. So we are able to pass any increases in prices to our customers. So that helps us in that way, yeah.
You pass 100% on?
We pass as much as possible on as we can, yeah.
So what has happened to your pricing in the past year?
We have increased our prices, and also our cost price also increased as the copper price increased, yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is, are you at threat perhaps of being undercut by other producers?
No, not at this stage. No, at this stage. There's a lot of demand in the market, so we can, all our production we can still sell at the moment in the market at good prices.
So as long as there's copper theft, I guess there'll continue to be demand for your product.
Yeah, hopefully that theft will stop because we can't afford it in the country. But you have a big demand at the moment for our products still, yeah.
This company that you acquired, Radiant, you mentioned it earlier. What was so attractive?
The reason they could be a cash generating company, they are also importing and distributing any lighting products. That's the main business. And also it helps us to diversify away from the copper price, because that is one of the problems. We very linked to the copper price. And also we wanted to diversify away from that. And that's one of the reasons why we bought Radiant. Yeah.
But you said you pass on your
we do pass on if the prices go up, but if the copper price decrease, then and the demand is not there, then we might have a problem.
So at this point in time, you say the demand is strong.
Demand is very strong.
If you were able to increase your production, say double your production, would you be able to sell that into the market still?
For foreseeable future, it might be possible, but long term, because everybody is expanding in the copper in the cable industry, that might be a problem. And that's one of the reasons why we're also looking at export markets going forward for this year. We are exploring that, to put their foot in the door and be able to export if we need to do that, yeah.
But isn't that perhaps one of the reasons why your stock has been under pressure? Because the same way as you see concerns into the future, investors might be looking at it the same way.
That's quite possible, but everybody predicting the copper price will go down, and the copper price just goes one way and that's up. And that benefits us. So at the moment, we don't, for the next 6 months, we're still very well placed to...
Is this because, like a petrol or a garage owner, you've got stocks there which are improving in price all the time, and if you can pass the prices on?
Yeah, if the price increase, we do make some profits on the stock, yes.
What was your stock profit last year?
Last year was around 4 million rand in total. So the last 6 months we've made no stock profits because the price went down in December about 13%. The first 6 months we've made about 4 million rand stock profits as well.
But that's small, and 126 million operating profits generally. Looking into the future, your prospects, I guess, would be linked to the economy.
Yes, definitely. On the cable manufacturing side, we're still very positive for this up to the first half of this year. On the Radiant side, they're definitely more affected by the economy than SOEW. We can definitely feel the economy slowing down on the Radiant side.
How much? What's happened to volumes, say, on a year ago?
Well, the volume's a little bit down there. At the moment, they're a little bit down on the volumes here.
What, 5, 10, 20,
about 5% at the moment.
Around about 5%, yeah. But not looking good into the future.
Depends what the economy is doing, yeah. And so that depends on all of that.
But for the company as a whole, you are fairly positive about double-digit earnings growth.
For the year, we're definitely positive about that. For the first 6 months also, I think it will still be fairly good return on our earnings. Going for the rest of the year, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. But for the first 6 months, we foresee good results. Yeah.
Chris, you sound a bit cautious, yet you've got big expansion programs.
Yes, we're busy with our second phase of expansion. That will be on stream the end of this month. And that will increase our capacity about 15%. And we're very confident that we will sell that also into the market the extra capacity that we've brought on, will bring online the end of this month.
Koos Bekker is the Chief Executive of South Ocean. Interesting story as, when one gets feedback from the economy and what's happening in other parts of the world, I guess even well-positioned businesses positioned for the infrastructure boom, even they have to start thinking twice about whether or not to be expanding as aggressively as they are. This is one business that is doing so. Interesting to hear as well that copper theft, and anyone who's had a telephone out of order or Eskom lines stolen as well will be glad to hear that something at last seems to be done or is being done about it. But if the thieves are getting 91% of the international price for the copper that they steal, you can see the incentives. That's it for Power Lunch, which is brought to you in association with MoneyWeb. We're crossing now to CNBC Europe for Power Lunch Europe. CNBC Africa will be back at 4 o'clock Central African time with Regional Update.